This is the Selection Sunday show of the 2006 season. Coach Paul Wilson and the Elon Phoenix are 21-5, and we are Southern Conference Tournament champions for the first time in program history, winning our first ever D1 Conference Tournament championship, and just the second all-time, the other one coming back in the 1997 season at the D2 level, when Elon won the South Atlantic Conference Tournament Championship. But what an unbelievable season it has been here in 2006 for Elon. Easily the greatest season in program history at the D1 level and overall now that we have the Conference Tournament Championship under our belt. And this was coming off of Elon's worst season as a D1 team overall in program history last year, back in 2005. Expectations were very low for Elon entering the season, according to the experts, but we believed in ourselves that we could turn things around this year, and what a year it has been. Started things off right away with a bang, a big upset win on the road against Georgia Tech. They were one of two ACC schools we were able to defeat this season. We also defeated Clemson, had a victory against VCU, a very good VCU team as well. Started off the year 4-0, then started dropping some games, found ourselves at 7-4. An all-time classic game on the road against Chattanooga. Back and forth, finishing that one. We trailed by 4 with under 15 seconds. Looked like the game was over, but we kept fighting, got a three-pointer, got a steal, got a basket, took the lead, only to see them hit a clutch shot with just over 1 second left, only for us to immediately inbound it deep down court, make a catch, and put up a three and nail it. A massive win that was, and that started a huge run for us. We have won 14 of our last 15 games since that moment. The only loss was on the road against Georgia Southern, and they defeated us by 30 points in that game during the regular season. So Georgia Southern also making their first ever Southern Conference Tournament Championship appearance. They were big favorites, the regular season conference champions, going into the championship game we just played. And unlike the quarterfinal and semifinal for us, we got ourselves off to a nice start in this one, had the lead. And then in the second half, we saw the Eagles fight back, took the lead. It was back and forth for a while in the second half. And then we just got on a run. We got red hot towards the end. We were able to get ourselves the 64-54 victory. What a performance, what a season, what a team here. All of Elon going wild for the Phoenix here in the 2006 season. Let's take a quick look here to recap the Southern Conference Tournament Championship. Wofford over Davidson, first round. Western Carolina, UNC Greensboro, first round. The Citadel taking out the host, College of Charleston, in the first round. Chattanooga blowing out the Citadel in the quarterfinal. We had to come from behind, trailed by double digits after Western Carolina got off to a really blistering start and controlled the first half, but we got by them. On to the semis. Furman defeating Appalachian State by 10 in the quarterfinals, and Georgia Southern got tested a bit, but able to get past Wofford by 6 to move on. Georgia Southern taking care of business against Furman, winning by 13, going to their first ever conference tournament championship game here in the Southern Conference, and we were able to accomplish the same, reaching our first ever Southern Conference tournament championship when we found a way once again against Chattanooga. Third time we played the Mocs this season, all absolute nail biters, and again we had to come from behind from double digits, able to get a 73-69 win. To the championship game, underdogs against the Eagles. They beat us by 30 points during the regular season. Different story here. Hard-fought, intense basketball game, but we're able to get the massive win. Biggest win in program history. And we are on our way to our first ever Division I NCAA tournament. Elon made it to the D2 NCAA tournament back in the 1997 season. Lost the first game in that tournament in D2, but on our way to the big dance here, the big time big dance in Division I. What a year for the Elon Phoenix. Here we go. Now time to watch the 2K Sports Selection Sunday show. Let's do it. So excited to see it. Here we go. Let's find out where our place will be.
Every year in this country, the tournament adds life to spring. But it's not until the brackets are filled that March Madness springs to life. The map of the madness, the brackets, are only moments away from bringing the tournament to life. Well, good evening, everyone. I'm Greg Gumbel. Welcome to the NCAA Championship Basketball Selection Show. I'm joined here at the anchor desk by my partner, Clark Kellogg. All right, get your pencils and your brackets ready. We're ready to bring you the exclusive live announcement of the seedings and the pairings for this tournament. First, some background details. Of the 65 available tournament bids, 31 are automatically given to conference champions. There are 34 at-large bids. An opening round game will be on Tuesday night to narrow the field to 64 teams. Before we get to the unveiling of this year's brackets, let's take a look at the final top 25 media poll of the season. We have a couple of changes in the rankings this week. There was a big move made in the poll. The North Carolina Tar Heels jumped all the way from the number 24 spot to number 19. They'll certainly be trying to keep that momentum going into the tournament. Also, a new team has made the jump into the top 25. The Washington Huskies return to the poll as the number 22 team. And there you have it, the final top 25 poll of the season. Now, let's talk about what everyone else in the country has been discussing for the past few weeks. The teams on the bubble. These are the teams that could get an invitation or could get their hearts broken. Clark, any teams that jump out at you here on this list?
The Illinois Fighting Illini have the advantage of playing in a major conference, and no doubt that will increase their chances of getting the nod.
You're right about that, and there are plenty of teams in the same boat with them.
The Colorado State Rams are certainly wishing they'd done more during the regular season, but it's too late to do anything about that now. They've just got to sit back and hope.
Well, they won't have to wait much longer. In just minutes, the whole country will know who's in and who's out. With that, let's get right to it and unveil this year's number one seeds in the NCAA tournament. The Oklahoma Sooners are the top overall seed who will play in the Washington, D.C. regional. They come into the tournament on a major roll. They've been at the top of the media poll for the past 5 weeks. We'll soon find out if they can carry that momentum over into March Madness. On to the second number one seed who will play in the Atlanta Regional. The Texas Longhorns are trying to win their first ever NCAA championship. The LSU Tigers are the third number one seed, and they'll play in the Minneapolis Regional. They're obviously no stranger to postseason play, with the experience of last year's NCAA tournament appearance still fresh in the minds of the veteran players. And finally, our fourth and last number one seed will play in the Oakland Regional. The Michigan Wolverines are in the tournament field as a number one seed for the second time in the history of their program. That's one happy group. Getting a top seed is definitely worth celebrating. That's just what they're going to do. Now, here's how the brackets shape up based on where the number one seeds have been assigned. In one national semifinal game, the winner of the Washington, D.C. Regional will play the winner of the Atlanta Regional. In the other semifinal game, the winner of the Minneapolis Regional will play the winner of the Oakland Regional. Those games will be played on Saturday, April 1st. Then it'll be on to the national championship game on Monday night, April the 3rd. We now know who the number one seeds are. What do you think?
Well, I think we're looking at the four best teams in the country without question. Good choices by the selection committee from my perspective.
So, with the number one seeds out of the way, it's finally time to tackle the rest of the brackets. We look first at the Washington, D.C. Regional. The Oklahoma Sooners are the top seed, finishing at 27-3. Winners of the Big 12 Conference regular season. They'll take on the winner of the opening round game, the Titans of Cal State Fullerton, with 12 wins, take on the Coastal Carolina Chanticleers out of the Big South Conference. And now, the number 8 seed, the Louisville Cardinals, come into the tournament as the 9th place team in their conference during the regular season and were losers in their first game at their conference tournament. They're going to play the number 9 seed, the Nebraska Cornhuskers, who were semifinalists in their conference tournament, finishing at 21-10. The North Carolina Tar Heels enter the field as the number 4 seed. Coming out of the ACC, it's yet another appearance in the brackets for a school that's no stranger to the NCAA tournament. They'll be getting ready to face the number 13 seed. The Utah State Aggies finished the season with 19 wins. They're the regular season and tournament champions of the WAC conference. The Elon Phoenix come in as the number 5 seed in the NCAA tournament in the history of their school. And they will take on the 12th seed out of the MAC. The Ball State Cardinals are their conference tournament winners. Next up is the number 2 seed. The Connecticut Huskies have established themselves as one of the best teams out of the Big East. They'll be going up against the number 15 seed, the Lehigh Mountain Hawks, with 18 wins. This is their 3rd appearance all time in the NCAA tournament. Our number 7 seed is out of the Big East. The Fighting Irish of Notre Dame were rewarded for their outstanding play this season with an at-large bid and a ticket to the Big Dance. They are going to play the number 10 seed, the Northwestern State Demon, who were regular season champions in their conference, finishing at 20-6. And now the number 3 seed, the Syracuse Orange, come into the tournament on the strength of a 3rd place finish in their conference regular season and were semifinalists in their conference tournament. And there are high fives all around back on campus where the celebration has already begun. The St. Peter's Peacocks come in to face them at number 14 with 16 wins and a Metro Atlantic Conference tournament championship behind them. The Iowa State Cyclones are in as the number 6 seed. They'll be taking on the number 11 seed. The Georgia Southern Eagles come in as regular season champions of the Southern Conference. You're really going to want to keep an eye on this bracket. There's the possibility of some great 2nd and 3rd round games here. You never know what's going to happen in the 1st round, but if everything goes according to form, this could make for some very entertaining matchups. Anything special that jumps out at you in that bracket?
The Connecticut Huskies are going to provide serious matchup problems to any team that doesn't have depth and defensive ability at both guard spots. They have outstanding backcourt play at both ends of the court. It's the main reason they've made it this far, and they're going to have to maintain that form if they want to do some damage in this tournament.
Next up, we'll take a look at the Atlanta Regional. The Texas Longhorns are the top seed, finishing at 29-4. Winners of the Big 12 Conference Tournament. They'll take on the Texas San Antonio Roadrunners, the number 16 ranked team. This is their 3rd appearance in the NCAA tournament in team history. And now, the number 8 seed, the Virginia Commonwealth Rams, come into the tournament after finishing 2nd in their conference during the regular season and winners of their conference tournament. They're on their feet back on campus as their spot in the brackets is unveiled. Get a look at that celebration. The Texas El Paso Miners come in to face them at number 9 with 17 wins and no doubt a lot of confidence coming into the tournament. The Boston College Eagles come in as the number 4 seed. They earned their 2nd trip in a row to the NCAA tournament, and they'll take on the 13th seed out of the America East Conference. The Maine Black Bears are their conference tournament winners. The Colorado Buffaloes enter the field as the number 5 seed, coming out of the Big 12. This marks their 10th appearance in the NCAA tournament in team history. They'll be getting ready to face the number 12 seed, the Louisiana Lafayette Ragin' Cajuns. Finished the season with 17 wins. They're the regular season and tournament champions of the Sun Belt Conference. Our number 2 seed is out of the Pac-10. The Arizona Wildcats had a tremendous year that included a regular season championship. They're going to play the number 15 seed, the Quinnipiac Bobcats, who came in 1st in their conference tournament, finishing at 16-13. Next up is the number 7 seed. The Wake Forest Demon Deacons are the conference tournament champions of the ACC. They'll be going up against the number 10 seed, the Stanford Cardinals, with 19 wins. This will be their 14th appearance in the NCAA tournament in school history. The Alabama Crimson Tide are in as the number 3 seed. This is their 4th trip in a row to the NCAA tournament. They'll be taking on the number 14 seed, the Stetson Hatters, come in as tournament champions of the Atlantic Sun Conference. And now the number 6 seed, the Washington Huskies, come into the tournament after finishing 2nd in their conference during the regular season and winners of their conference tournament. They are going to play the number 11 seed, the Houston Cougars, who were semifinalists in their conference tournament, finishing at 20-9. Right away, it looks to me like this bracket could have some of the teams you look at as possible sleepers. It's always tough to pin down who's going to pull the upsets, but I'll go out on a limb and say there are going to be lower seeds that make some noise here. Anything special that jumps out at you in that bracket?
The Texas Longhorns are a team that is just so powerful and strong up front. I would put their front court up against just about any other teams in the nation right now. It's always good to have strong guard play, but if you ask most coaches, I guarantee you they take the good big man over the good little man most times. Their interior play should serve them very well in this competition.
Our 3rd regional breakdown of the day. Let's take a look at the Minneapolis Regional. The LSU Tigers are the top seed, finishing at 25-5. Winners of the SEC Conference regular season. They'll take on the Idaho State Bengals, the number 16 ranked team. This will be their 11th appearance in the NCAA tournament in the history of their school. Our number 8 seed is out of the Big East. The Cincinnati Bearcats were rewarded for their outstanding play this season with an at-large bid and a ticket to the Big Dance. They're going to play the number 9 seed, the North Carolina State Wolfpack, who were semifinalists in their conference tournament, finishing at 19-12. The Villanova Wildcats enter the field as the number 4 seed, coming out of the Big East. This will be their 26th appearance ever in the NCAA tournament. They'll be getting ready to face the number 13 seed, the Tennessee Tech Golden Eagles. Finished the season with 18 wins. They're the tournament champions of the Ohio Valley Conference. The Toledo Rockets are in as the number 5 seed. They return to the NCAA tournament for the first time in a very long time. They'll be taking on the number 12 seed. The Xavier Musketeers come in as regular season and conference champions of the A-10. And now the number 2 seed, the Memphis Tigers, come into the tournament first in their conference during the regular season and winners of their conference tournament. As you can see, the celebration is on. A great moment for this team and their fans. The Loyola Marymount Lions come in to face them at number 15 with 14 wins and a West Coast Conference tournament championship behind them. Next up is the number 7 seed. The Oral Roberts Golden Eagles are the conference tournament and regular season champions of the Mid-Continent Conference. They'll be going up against the number 10 seed, the Iowa Hawkeyes, with 20 wins. They return once more to the very familiar surroundings of the NCAA tournament. And now the number 3 seed, the Georgetown Hoyas, come into the tournament after finishing second in their conference during the regular season and finished second in their conference tournament. They are going to play the number 14 seed, the Cornell Big Red, who were regular season champions in their conference, finishing at 17-10. The Charlotte 49ers come in as the number 6 seed. This will be their 11th appearance all time in the NCAA tournament. And they take on the 11th seed out of the Big Ten. The Illinois Fighting Illini are rewarded for their great play this season with an at-large berth in the tournament. This could be the toughest bracket of all. Picking the strongest bracket isn't necessarily about which has the best team. It's about which has the most depth. Top to bottom, there are a ton of good teams here. I can promise you whoever comes out of this bracket will have been battle-tested. What do you think about that one, Clark?
The Memphis Tigers do the one thing that all great teams absolutely must do, and that's play tremendous team defense. These guys have been shutting down opponents all year with a combination of speed, intelligence, and sheer determination. There have been NCAA championship teams of all shapes and sizes, but all of them played good, strong defense.
The last but definitely not the least regional on the list, we'll take a look at the Oakland Regional. The Michigan Wolverines are the top seed, finishing at 25-4. Winners of the Big Ten Conference regular season and tournament title. They'll take on the South Carolina State Bulldogs, the number 16 ranked team. This will be their 5th appearance in the NCAA tournament in school history. Next up is the number 8 seed. The Vanderbilt Commodores are the conference tournament champions of the SEC. They'll be going up against the number 9 seed, the Chattanooga Mocs, with 18 wins. This is their 9th appearance in the NCAA tournament in the history of their school. And now the number 4 seed, the Rutgers Scarlet Knights, come into the tournament first in their conference during the regular season and were losers in their first game at their conference tournament. Let the party begin. They celebrate their place in the brackets with the whole country watching. The Southern Jaguars come in to face them at number 13 with 18 wins and a SWAC conference tournament and regular season championship behind them. The Tennessee Volunteers come in as the number 5 seed. This marks their 13th appearance all time in the NCAA tournament. And they will take on the 12th seed out of the Mountain West Conference. The San Diego State Aztecs are their conference tournament winners and have become hot at the perfect time of the season. We'll see if they can keep it up. The Duke Blue Devils enter the field as the number 2 seed, coming out of the ACC. This will be their 29th appearance ever in the NCAA tournament. They'll be getting ready to face the number 15 seed, the Wisconsin-Milwaukee Panthers. Finished the season with 17 wins. They're the tournament champions of the Horizon League. And now the number 7 seed, the Oklahoma State Cowboys, come into the tournament 6th in their conference during the regular season and were quarterfinalists in their conference tournament. They are going to play the number 10 seed, the Mississippi State Bulldogs, who were 6th in their conference, finishing at 17 and 13. The Michigan State Spartans are in as the number 3 seed. It is their 8th straight appearance in the NCAA tournament. They'll be taking on the number 14 seed, the Drake Bulldogs, come in as tournament champions of the Missouri Valley Conference. Our number 6 seed is out of the Big Ten. The Ohio State Buckeyes were rewarded for their outstanding play this season with an at-large bid and a ticket to the Big Dance. They are going to play the number 11 seed, the Florida Gators, who were semifinalists in their conference tournament, finishing at 18 and 13. I always like to look down the road and try to find the most intriguing matchups in the later rounds, and this bracket could give us one of those. A pairing of the top 2 seeds in this bracket's regional final would be just an awesome game, and I think it's going to happen. Well, Clark, what's your impression of the teams in the final bracket?
The Duke Blue Devils are a team I love watching play. They've been one of the highest scoring teams in the country, and I don't see any reason for them to slow down during the tournament. If they can dictate the tempo of a game and force the other team to run with them, they are very hard to deal with. I wouldn't put it past these guys to make a run this year.
With all the speculation over and the bracket picture finally in focus, let's get your thoughts on our top 16 seeds.
Well, I have to admit, for once, these seeds look pretty good to me. I think the selection committee really got it right this time. The Connecticut Huskies are a team I'm not especially high on. They're all the way up there at a 2 seed, but I'd be surprised to see them make a serious run at the Final Four. The most shocking thing about the top 16 is the lack of any representatives out of the Mountain West Conference. Obviously, the committee did not show a lot of respect to that conference, and maybe they don't deserve any.
Now, let's look at the breakdown by conference. The Big East gets 8 teams. The Big 12 with 6. 6 out of the SEC. The ACC gets 5 teams. The Big 10 with 5. 3 out of the Pac-10.
Boy, what a real down year for the mid-majors. None of those conferences stands out. We're used to seeing quite a few of those teams, but not this year.
And let's not forget the teams out of the Southern Conference. Those squads had a great year. They put fear in the big boys more than once this season, and one of those teams could be a sleeper pick in this tournament.
I can't believe there's only one team out of the Mountain West Conference. What a disappointing year for that conference. The balance of power is cyclical. It shifts amongst the major conferences, and they better hope it's going to swing back in their favor soon.
We talked about the bubble teams earlier. Now let's check back on them and see who got their ticket punched. What do you think of the list now, Clark?
The Georgia Southern Eagles were just on fire coming down the stretch, on a real roll. Finishing the year on an up note is a huge advantage when you're a team that's on the bubble. I'm sure that's a big reason they're in.
Absolutely, and I know we have a few more teams on the list that are celebrating.
The Florida Gators reap the benefits of playing in a major conference without question. Other teams put up more wins and had flashier numbers, but I'm sure the nightly battles these guys went through put them over the top. Well, we know there are a few teams on the other side of the equation that weren't too thrilled to get the bad news today. The Alabama-Birmingham Blazers really didn't do themselves any favors with their dismal finish to the season. Unless you've had just an unbelievable start to the year, you're usually not going to overcome that kind of struggle at the end of the season.
Not a happy day on that campus, that's for sure, but they'll have some company when it comes to watching the tournament on television this year.
The Colorado State Rams were unfortunate not to be included in the field. I really thought they'd done enough to get a bid. It was a pretty decent year for them all in all, but they're on the outside looking in now, and sometimes that happens to deserving teams.
Well, partner, I think we're ready to start the real show. What do you say?
Well, Greg, that sounds good to me. I think it's going to be an incredible tournament. I can't wait until we actually throw the ball up in the air and get these games started.
So for my partner, Clark Kellogg, and the rest of us here in the studio, I'm Greg Gumbel signing off. Now, let the madness begin.
Let's go. We are the 5 seed. We're going to be taking on the Ball State Cardinals from the MAC. Very excited to get this going, obviously. A dream come true. Seemed like an impossible dream at the start of the season, but we have accomplished it. We've accomplished so much here in 2006. Greatest season in program history. So excited to get the NCAA tournament going. 3 teams from the Southern Conference makes it. Not surprised to see Georgia Southern get in. I'm a bit surprised to see Chattanooga get the nod as well. But here we go. So excited to get it all going here. NCAA tournament. Elon, very excited. The whole city's going to be behind us here for sure, like they have all year. Let's go, Phoenix.